Say, Father, if yet my task is done. How often children do ask that question, and the setting, the timing, the people around you may be different. Well, let's see what the question means here for us. Battles, wars, heroism, sacrifice. We've grown up with these words. But what happens when a poet who has not personally experienced the war, maybe, but has had stories all around her, narrated by maybe soldiers, maybe veterans, or maybe just people in society. So when our poet, Felicia Hemans, heard of the Battle of Nile of 1798, she was just a kid when the battle was fought. But then she, being a poet who wrote 20 volumes of poetry, heard of this story, heard of a particular episode, something within her stirred, and she thought, well, this is how great poetry is born. A story of honor, a story of youthful courage, a story of sacrifice, a story of attachment to one's parent. Is he really a parent or much more? An idea of loyalty. Well, all these come together and this great poem, Casabianca, is born. Sadly, she wasn't much known during her own lifetime, or probably even neglected today. But there is this one poem, Casabianca, which calls out to each one of the readers. Whenever I begin a poem, talking to anyone, I always say, shut your eyes and imagine the scene. Can you imagine the scene here as I begin to read the poem? The boy stood on the burning deck, whence all but he had fled. The flame that lit the battle's wreck shone around him o'er the dead. Yet beautiful and bright he stood, as born to rule the storm. A creature of heroic blood, a proud though childlike form. The flames rolled on, he would not go without his father's word. That father, faint in death below, his voice no longer heard. He called aloud, say, Father, say, if yet my task is done. He knew not that the chieftain lay unconscious of his son. Speak, Father, once again he cried, if I may yet be gone. And but the booming shots replied, and fast the flames rolled on. Yes, the poem goes on, and shouted but once more aloud, my father, must I stay? While over him fast through sail and shroud, the wreathing fires made way. And then the poem ends with mast and helm and pennon fair, that well had borne their part. But the noblest thing which perished there was that young, faithful heart. Have you got a picture of this young boy standing there waiting for orders from his father, right? Father, chieftain, captain, leader. Here was a boy who was used to taking orders and following them. And you can imagine how important it is in warfare. So though he was surrounded by flames, though it seems as if the entire ship is now going into the waters, the boy doesn't stop. Remember, it is said that the captain is the last one who flees the sinking ship. But our boy here, a young boy who cannot leave his post till he gets orders to do it, to quit the post. And does he get the order? No, maybe because he does not know that the chieftain, the leader, the father, the captain, call him what you will, is not ever going to answer. A poem has a structure. A poem probably belongs to one genre or the other. Shall I call this an elegy? Or shall I call it a ballad? What is most important, I think, what strikes the reader, the listener, is the imagery that comes across. Can you see the burning ship? Can you see that little boy standing alone? Can you see the expression on his face as he waits and waits, waits in vain? I, as a teacher, look at a poem for its beauty. And when I say beauty, I mean what comes across as the thematic concern, which does happen here. We talk of structure and rhyme and rhythm. That's making it too academic, and I'm not going to go into that. But I certainly will say that in order to be able to appreciate the poem, you must read it aloud. Pause at the right place. Wait whenever it is required. And poets are very considerate. They give us the appropriate punctuation marks. But we as readers sometimes tend to overlook them. Doesn't matter. We will learn as we go along. Will we ever get rid of war? When was the first war fought? When will the last war be fought? Redundant questions. Because war, I think, is here to stay as long as human beings are there. So when I read this poem, when I hear this poem, what strikes me most is how this theme is always going to be alive. Isn't that what makes literature great? Isn't that what really matters in literature? That it appeals not just to one place, not just to one age, but it is what we call universal. And therefore today, as wars ravage us, as there seem to be no reason not to fight a war, as we talk about war in different parts of the world today, I think this poem ignites something and asks us, is all war only for a Pyrrhic victory? Is there any victor in a war? Is war about individual sacrifices and contributions? Are they today still the boy stood on the burning deck? Many other poems do bring in the same one, cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them. And we could go on with what we today call war poetry.